Hi, I'm Allison Fritts-Penniman, and this is the Coral Triangle, an area of the Indo-Pacific Ocean with the highest concentration of marine species in the entire world. Coral reefs provide a home for thousands of other species. I'm fascinated by this diversity and curious, how did these species come to be? My curiosity led me to a group of animals called nudibranchs. Nudibranchs are an incredibly diverse group of sea slugs known for their crazy colors and shapes. They are defined by their exposed, or nude, gills, branchia, which are used for gas exchange, like the gills of a fish. Species in this genus, Festilla, have adapted to live on certain types of corals, and their camouflage to those corals is extraordinary. My research is focused on this species, Festilla minor. These nudies live on Porites corals. The host corals are also very diverse and come in a range of shapes. I wanted to know if the Festilla minor living on different corals, such as these two, are becoming independent populations. This is one way that new species form, when one species splits up into two habitats. Let's take a look at how that might happen. Here is a coral reef with nudies living on one type of coral. They mate with other nudies on the same coral, and then their larvae disperse into the water. They use a chemical cue from the coral to find their host species and settle onto it, and the cycle continues. Now imagine a new mutation in some larvae that allows them to settle and survive on a different species of coral. They grow up and only mate with others on the same coral. However, the larvae can still go back to the old coral, so they're not quite separated. But what if the adaptation that allows them to live on the new coral makes them less successful on the old coral? Here's a nudie that's the color of its parental host but settled on the old host. This nudie stands out and is eaten by a predatory fish. The fish acts as natural selection against the orange nudies on the red coral. Over time, the orange nudies evolve to only settle on the orange corals, and they become a new species. To see whether this is happening in nature, I traveled to Indonesia to collect Festilla minor from different corals. Can you find all 5 here? I'll help you out, it takes practice. I sequenced their DNA and looked for differences between the populations from these 2 corals. I am able to report that the nudibranchs are in fact diverging and may now be separate species. My research shows that new species of nudibranchs can form based on their preference for a certain coral. This means that the more coral species there are, the more nudibranch species there can be. As you can see, diversity in coral promotes diversity of other animals. Coral reefs are more than a pretty picture or a source of food. They are a driving force of evolution and deserve our respect and protection.